Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, seal and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
Want to train like a pro? DGS Ninja has you covered with obstacles designed by top athletes. Kevin Carbone, Matt Bradley, Tom Alberti, and Brett Sims. Whether you're dialing in your technique at the gym or training at home, DGS Ninja equipment is built for performance, durability, and safety. Train with confidence. Train with DGS Ninja. Find obstacles, rigs, mats, and more on dgsninja.com.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my chalk bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slab chalks! You take the chalk ball, put it in a mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slab trucks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, rock climber, and the CEO of Slap Chalks.
Here at Stage 4 Designs, we are all about innovation and athlete safety. We've been doing this since 2015, designing the most innovative obstacles in the sport, and now with our partnership with the World Ninja League, we are very excited to bring some of our best designs to the highest level athletes in the world. For our process, it all kind of starts right here in our digital design. There's a much more deliberate process now in what we do, with our goal being the utmost in athlete safety. So we put everything into our digital design first, make sure it's all going to work, then we procure the parts. We learned the process and refined it to what we feel are some of the highest quality urethane products you're going to find in the Ninja space, and that all happens here at our custom-built workbench. A lot goes into our urethane, and we are very proud of the work that we do there. Everything that we build here at Stage 4 is all custom made in-house. It's not like we have a stock of a bunch of stuff. So when you do place an order with us, that order comes through and we basically build everything from scratch. Paint department is scalable. We basically hand paint most things, but some things that require a little bit more spray or bigger, we're capable of that as well. These athletes put these obstacles through some of the most rigorous circumstances that you can think of, and we want to try to plan for every contingency. We never want an obstacle to break on anybody. We always want our stuff to feel solid and not move around a whole lot, so that the athletes can trust their skills to throw the biggest moves that they possibly can on anything that we put out there. Our CNC machine handles all of most of our flat goods. It's the workhorse around here. It actually does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of cutting things out. We don't do any of our flat goods by hand. We make sure that everything is exactly the same and replicable, so that, you know, if you're doing courses or you have athletes that are going either head to head or the same obstacle that you're going to find at one Ninja gym is going to feel exactly the same if you go to another Ninja gym or your home for that matter, so that there's consistency with all of our product. Over the years, as we've added to our suite of products that we offer, we realized that pipe and metalworking is becoming more and more commonplace in Ninja obstacles, and to meet that demand, we've added the ability to do that here as well. So a lot of the obstacles that you'll see that we design and develop are meant to go on truss, and pipes are a big part of that. So we've added a pipe bending station here, and look for, in the future, us to offer a lot more innovative obstacles that kind of exist in that space where pipes are a big part of it. So here, everything that we put out is tested by real ninjas before it goes out. We want to make sure that our obstacles can stand all sorts of unforeseen circumstances. We know that Ninja athletes move in ways that are innovative and new, and we want to try to account for as many of those as we can and make sure that those obstacles hold up. So we test everything. Over the last 10 years, Stage 4 Designs has been committed to developing the most innovative obstacles that you're going to find, but also the safest and most reliable obstacles. Our motto here is elevating obstacles. We do feel that on this platform, we can take something that's both fun and creative, but also elevate it to an industry that deserves to stand on its own.
Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, CO and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
Want to train like a pro? DGS Ninja has you covered with obstacles designed by top athletes. Kevin Carbone, Matt Bradley, Tom Alberti, and Brett Sims. Whether you're dialing in your technique at the gym or training at home, DGS Ninja equipment is built for performance, durability, and safety. Train with confidence. Train with DGS Ninja. Find obstacles, rigs, mats, and more on dgsninja.com.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my truck bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slab chalks! You take the chalk ball, put it in the mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slab trucks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, rock climber, and the CEO of Slap Chalks.
Here at Stage 4 Designs, we are all about innovation and athlete safety. We've been doing this since 2015, designing the most innovative obstacles in the sport, and now with our partnership with the World Ninja League, we are very excited to bring some of our best designs to the highest level athletes in the world. For our process, it all kind of starts right here in our digital design. There's a much more deliberate process now in what we do, with our goal being the utmost in athlete safety. So we put everything into our digital design first, make sure it's all going to work, then we procure the parts. We learned the process and refined it to what we feel are some of the highest quality urethane products you're going to find in the Ninja space, and that all happens here at our custom-built workbench. A lot goes into our urethane, and we are very proud of the work that we do there. Everything that we build here at Stage 4 is all custom made in-house. It's not like we have a stock of a bunch of stuff. So when you do place an order with us, that order comes through and we basically build everything from scratch. Paint department is scalable. We basically hand paint most things, but some things that require a little bit more spray or bigger, we're capable of that as well. These athletes put these obstacles through some of the most rigorous circumstances that you can think of, and we want to try to plan for every contingency. We never want an obstacle to break on anybody. We always want our stuff to feel solid and not move around a whole lot, so that the athletes can trust their skills to throw the biggest moves that they possibly can on anything that we put out there. Our CNC machine handles all of most of our flat goods. It's the workhorse around here. It actually does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of cutting things out. We don't do any of our flat goods by hand. We make sure that everything is exactly the same and replicable, so that, you know, if you're doing courses or you have athletes that are going either head to head or the same obstacle that you're going to find at one Ninja gym is going to feel exactly the same if you go to another Ninja gym or your home for that matter, so that there's consistency with all of our product. Over the years, as we've added to our suite of products that we offer, we realized that pipe and metalworking is becoming more and more commonplace in Ninja obstacles, and to meet that demand, we've added the ability to do that here as well. So a lot of the obstacles that you'll see that we design and develop are meant to go on truss, and pipes are a big part of that. So we've added a pipe bending station here, and look for, in the future, us to offer a lot more innovative obstacles that kind of exist in that space where pipes are a big part of it. So here, everything that we put out is tested by real ninjas before it goes out. We want to make sure that our obstacles can stand all sorts of unforeseen circumstances. We know that Ninja athletes move in ways that are innovative and new, and we want to try to account for as many of those as we can and make sure that those obstacles hold up. So we test everything. Over the last 10 years, Stage 4 Designs has been committed to developing the most innovative obstacles that you're going to find, but also the safest and most reliable obstacles. Our motto here is elevating obstacles. We do feel that on this platform, we can take something that's both fun and creative, but also elevate it to an industry that deserves to stand on its own.
continuing that mission as humane world friend.
Welcome back to the Vitality Obstacle Fitness Premier Series qualifiers at Fall River, Massachusetts. It's great to be back for the final youth division. This is going to cover the preteens, courtesy of our course designers, Jordan Thurston and Addie Herman. My name is Kane Malden, joined alongside Billy Dixon. Billy, we've been going through the ringer, seeing so many incredible ninjas in the biggest qualifier that we've seen yet. And we still have a long way to go.
Indeed we do. We have got 17 preteen athletes ready to go for our Vitality courses. We've got 2 courses that they're all going to be running. It's going to be an absolutely amazing time to see what talent the final youth division that we've got running on this Saturday really has to offer. We've had some amazing athletes in the kids division and the mature kids division go through. Let's have a look at what they're going to be facing and how our athletes got here in the first place. So what we've done is we've taken the top 25% of all athletes from the World Championships and their season standings as well, in their regions that is, and everyone who fits those credentials has gotten an invite to the Premier Series. So that means they can compete in any of the 14 qualifiers that we've got going on throughout the entirety of this season. We're currently at the 7th one here at Vitality, so we're halfway there. We've got 2 courses. We have the placement course and the challenge course. If you fall on the placement course, your run is over, simple as that. And it seeds the run order for the challenge course. So our athletes are going to be wanting to go fast on the placement course to get later on in the challenge course, and vice versa is going to be the result of that. On the challenge course, every athlete gets 2 retries available, but you can only utilize a retry 1 time on an obstacle. and the top 4 athletes on the challenge course are going to be getting an invite to the Premier Series finals that are happening on November 20th through to the 22nd at Ascend Obstacle Training in Massachusetts. Now, it's important to note that for this competition at Vitality, it's in the same state as Ascend in Massachusetts. So it's safe to say that every single person who qualifies at this competition throughout both today and tomorrow are probably going to be seen at the Ascend finals due to the fact it's so close. Probably only like a couple-hour drive at the maximum, if I'm going to be honest with you. So it's possible that we see so much great action from our teams out here, from whether it's from Vitality, from Ascend, from Strive that we've seen, some people in Connecticut like Ninja Mania and Stamford Ninja Academy, all that. It's going to be amazing to see who out of our 17 athletes we've got 7 females and 10 males all ready to battle it out. Only 4 of each can go through, though, so it's going to be a really tight one to see who goes through, Kane.
Yeah, a couple of these competitors I do recognize just by, being around the region as a whole. But what I'm more eager to see is what changes are going to be made across not only the placement course, but the challenge course, because the preteen division, obviously being the third one up, is going to have quite a few sizable buffs compared to where we started this morning in the kids division.
It's going to be very, very exciting, everybody. It's going to be very, very cool to see the amazing preteen action that we have here. It was insane, the mature kids division, particularly on the male side. We had about 8 clears, and only 4 of them could go through to the finals. So even if you clear the challenge course later on, it's possible that you might not even be able to go through to the Premier Series finals. So you really have to go against these other athletes that we've got here, but the camaraderie still going to be buzzing out here. So it's going to be very, very exciting to see. On our male side, we've got a bunch of people out here. Our first male competitor is going to be Lionel Casiello out here, who's competed 22 times throughout the regular season of the WNL, coming out of Lynn in Massachusetts. And then the final runner on the male side is going to be Austin Morin, who's 12 years old and lives out of Cape Cod and is part of Team Ascend out of Kingston. And Ascend Kingston was the Massachusetts qualifier that we had last year for the Premier Series. So it's definitely going to be exciting to see probably one of the most populated ninja states in the world, Massachusetts, be on here for display for our entire Premier Series catalog out here for our preteen division. It's going to go absolutely insane. Our demo run is going to start very, very shortly. We have 9 obstacles on the placement course that we're going to be seeing out here. Cannot wait for it. It's been absolute chaos, this placement course here today, Kane. I cannot wait to see what the preteens are going to be able to do to it.
Yeah, there's always a bit of chaotic stuff going on in this one. As we saw with the kids division, it started strong with our kids female division, but then it all went haywire and a bunch of people failed in ways I didn't anticipate. I don't know if that same logic carried over to the mature kids. I want to say it did, at least to some extent. But
pretty much. Honestly, it was very, very chaotic.
But yeah, for our preteens, they kind of serve a very interesting role in the grand scheme of things, because where they stand in their age divisions is right before the elite age cap. So this is the strongest division before you are allowed to go elite, if you think about it.
Basically, but here is our demo run. Going to be starting out with just a couple of steps right here. Lovely stuff. And then we move along into our second obstacle, which is hanging out over under. Going to be third out here. Moving along through. We then have one that took out quite a few people in the mature kids division, which is the web slinger out there running up the warped wall. And then we have the detour going off a couple of steps right there. Swinging along into Boing Boing, which consists of 2 trampolines. Swiftly moving on to a shelf grab and then some Sonic Curve type steps that we're seeing through. And then Bump is next up with some laches that are going to be able to be linked out here. Looks like they're stationary bars instead of trapezes now. And then we have the Clocks Ticking, which is a tick-tock, that then moves over to a DGS Dragon Head. And then it looks like we have to move over to this spinning basket. Okay, straight into that throwback. That's bound to trip up probably a couple of people there. And this is DIY DGS out here. We have a lot of different areas to be traversing. That final big trapeze has been one where you can link it or not. And overall, our athletes are going to have around 75 seconds to complete this course if it stays the same as it has for the last few divisions.
Yeah, very fun placement course as well, because, you know, typically on placement courses, you see a little bit of the same kind of dynamics. You know, you have your laches, you have your balance, you have your running, whatever. But this one has a lot of unique elements that I think will spice up things a little bit. But Madison Curaz is our first preteen of the day, and she's off to the races.
It's a lot of pressure going first in a big competition like this, especially at a gym as prestigious as Vitality, setting the precedent for the other many runners that we have got in both the female and male categories out here. It seems like that green mat in between the steps might be out of bounds, but Madison Curas coming along through here. This is very, very solid off of that shelf. Gonna take a backswing onto the Sonic Boomins through it.
Yeah, but from here, a couple of laches should be easy for our preteen females, including Madison. Oh, great links to carry that weight through. Drops on down to the booster block. And now for uncharted territory. DIY DGS, so far so good. But this basket, you don't want to be a basket case here.
Okay, lovely grab onto that throwback. Immediately goes over, links that trapeze, and with 16 seconds left, Madison Curas is our first clear out here for the preteen division. We're currently 1 for 1, which is lovely to see out here. That was absolutely a great way to start things out for the preteen division.
Yeah, it's always great to see a buzzer this early on. It sets the precedent really high for the competitors still to come. And obviously, you know, it's better to finish than not because it puts you higher on the leaderboard.
Indeed it does, but still a great way to start things out for this final youth division that we have. And next up, though, a big name that we have going for us out here is going to be CC Angle. Pushing along through. Cannot wait to see how she's going to do out here. Going to be a big one here. She's definitely up there. She was the first winner of the WNA Championship at Motus for the preteen female division. And look at her go. CC is just off the charts in terms of speed right now.
Yeah, CC, you see here? Oh no!
Oh my lord!
On the shelf, her jump sent her skyrocketing forward. And
I need to see that again. Have a look at that. She was moving so smoothly. Gonna probably get one of the faster times on the leaderboard. But got on. Second trampoline jump. Just buckled her knees there. Couldn't get a correct jump pushing through there. Sadly, that's going to be it for her. As we now move on to Kaylee Brown now. I'm trying to keep this big consistency going. Trying to get a few more buzzers in place so the confidence level fuels up within everyone here at Vitality right now.
Yeah, Kaylee here representing Surge. One of the many to be coming in from that gym. I guess to be expected given its proximity to the gym that we see here. But Kaylee gonna carry on through the underbar. So far, so good. Now the crooked wall-esque maneuver. Kaylee making short work of it.
Kaylee Brown pushing through here. Moving over and through onto both of the trampolines here. Gets that grab on the shelf. Didn't have a lot of height, but was able to salvage it. Just over 40 seconds now as she makes her way through these bars, which she's going to be linking across. I like the tech that's on the display right now. 35 seconds into TikTok, though.
Yeah, building it up. Still neck and neck with Madison's time, but she gets hung up on the basket. Not a lot of forward momentum, but I guess it doesn't matter if your arms are long enough.
Yeah, I'm liking this. Oh! Interesting. Okay, Kaylee Brown sadly wasn't able to get the reach out onto that trapeze there. It looked like the reach was just too far away for her to link it. I appreciate the send, though, to say the very least there. Let's have another look at that again. She got onto the throwback. Looked like she had enough of a backswing already from reaching out, but just came up short on that trapeze there. But let's see. Grace Murphy pulling along through. Definitely one to watch out for. She got second place at the Premier Series qualifier at Stanford Ninja Academy back in 2024, and in 2024 as well. She was a Premier Series finalist and was able to get 6th place overall. So Grace Murphy definitely on the lookout for some redemption to get back into the Premier Series finals here today.
Yeah, I mean, while you were saying that, she's already halfway done. The trampoline proving to be no issue for Grace over here on the taller end. So a couple reaches, following through with the arms, and she touches down. 2 more obstacles left to go, Billy.
Here goes Grace Murphy. I'm going to take a backswing on that special delivery. Pushes along out. That body orientation on that basket was impeccable. But now she's linking out. Going to take one more backswing off of that trapeze. Grace Murphy hitting the buzzer into first place. 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. 48 seconds that run took. That was impeccable.
Yeah, she didn't even look like she was going that fast. That's the funny part. She just had the course down to a science that puts her into first place. But now, our next competitor, we're already 2 away from being done with the preteen females, Billy.
Indeed we are. Here goes Mila Rukos coming along out here. Doing very, very solid at the minute. Coming out of Team Ascend, representing our finalist brand, our finals location brand. Over and under. Lovely stuff there. A minute left as she makes her way through onto the web. Split. Nice. Lovely stuff right now. 55 seconds as she makes the jump over to that hill. Straight away onto that shelf. Both of the trampolines bounding across, taking a bit of a break. Strategic there. Getting a big bound onto that shelf and saves it.
Yeah, looked a little more cautious through the balance obstacles, but whatever it takes to get to the end. All right, well, Mila, I think I'd like to see her pick up the pace a little bit, but if you get through it, I guess it doesn't matter.
Very solid out here from Mila currently. 20 seconds as she's trying to gain some momentum off that TikTok, going up to the dragon head into that special delivery. Now needs that body orientation steady. Wants to have your lower body leaning outward to try and get a more solid approach to the throwback. But as time is ticking down, she's a bit static here. Makes the one-handed catch, but slips down.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the pace, Billy. She was going kind of cautious through some of these obstacles, and I wonder if she had a little bit more time on her hands, if she could have strung it together. But still, we'll get to see her on the challenge course later on, though maybe towards the beginning.
Here we go, moving along onto our final preteen female competitor. It's going to be Layla Rebello. 5 foot, wingspan of 4'10", part of Team Vitality, hoping to do well at her home gym right here. Coming out of Somerset, Massachusetts. Not having a problem right now. Layla Rebello pushing through. Nice link out.
Oh, a little lost in the sauce, but Layla has found her way, generating swing, one of her favorite obstacle types, so these shelfies should be no problem, with a resounding bounce as well. Through and through!
Oh,
she touches down!
Bro, the sonic boom just being a bit too much for her to handle right there. She got a solid rhythm going throughout most of the course, though, twice linking those bounces on the trampolines, I suppose. But then once she got onto the second step, it looks like she was just a bit too low, and that knocked off her balance, and that's the end of the preteen female division. Looking at our leaderboard, Layla's going to be going first, sadly, with Grace Murphy getting first in the placement course, meaning she's running last once we get to the challenge course. But now it is time for our preteen male division to start things out. We've got 10 athletes getting ready to go, the first of which being Lionel Casiello, coming out of Lynn, Massachusetts. 22 competitions he's competed in throughout the regular season, and here he is at the Vitality Premier Series. Let's get it.
Yeah, wants to set a powerful precedent for the competitors that are looking at his run, analyzing it for clues on how to map out their game plan. But Lionel quickly around the bend, cutting corners where he can. And look at that, he grabbed the disc just to minimize the amount of time he spent in the air. Lionel!
Oh, interesting. Okay, I liked the force link right there. It saved him a bit of time. It was a bit unorthodox, but he made it work. Just over 40 seconds as he makes his way onto the TikTok now. Kane, this is going to be close.
Yeah, but not too close with the clock anyhow.
Oh!
Watch the feet line
Ho,
up.
ho, ho. Coming along through, has a lot of momentum off of that TikTok and gets to the buzzer. Our first preteen male run is a clear, albeit it was close at times.
Yeah, I mean, look at that run. It looked a little squirrely in parts, but I guess a clear is a clear. It looks the same on the leaderboard with a save or with a smooth run. So, I mean, what can you do?
More athletes still to come, with the second preteen male being Logan Jensen. 12 years old. His favorite sport is Ninja. He's competed in both NSC and WNL. Coming out of Strive, he's competing here at Premier Series, representing Norton, Massachusetts. Moving along through, trying to dash as fast as he can out here. Nice turnaround.
Yeah, Logan last year got 5th in the mature kids division at the finals, so he wants the gold medal as he ages out of the mature kids division. He's doing pretty well as a preteen, I tell ya.
This is a very fun placement course to watch. Gonna set himself back a bit more so he can get a bit of momentum, pushing down through those bars. Just under 40 seconds as he pushes along back and forth onto that dragon, linking onto that basket. Is he gonna link onto the throwback? Gonna reach out. Okay, solid tech. There you can see that hand orientation, really rapid. But 25 seconds, gonna leap out towards that trapeze and link on down for a 52-second clear.
Really kept us on our toes that whole time. Like, if there's anything to take away, yeah, look at his legs like flailing through the air on the trampoline, but he found his way. And then the pop on the handles, good wherewithal to be able to switch your hands on the fly like that, literally on the fly. Okay.
Here's going to be Gavin Balzotti out here. Now, it's worth noting that one of the Balzotti brothers made it through to the Premier Series finals in the mature kids division, I believe it was. So here he goes. Gavin pushing along through under 70 seconds. Nice wraparound on that truss, trying to maximize the efficiency as he pushes along through, gets onto that box, no problem.
Yeah, anyway, he can shave off the transitions in twain of these obstacles. He's gonna do. Gavin catches it a little too close to the shelves. He had to reel it back for a backswing. And from here, Gavin, oh yes, some links as clean as can be. Here we go, though, the TikTok, and then a whole myriad of ninja tech.
Nice, solid stuff there. Immediately goes into that throwback. Gonna take one more backswing to maximize his length on that reach, and he's got it. Second place, only by a couple of milliseconds there. He was around, like, I want to do the maths here because I really want to get this right. He was 0.18 seconds away from first.
No kidding. What a run. Those are the margins that our preteens are going to be fighting between. And I could not be more excited. We still have, wow, a lot more competitors where that came from, though. Evan Richardson, also seemingly wearing the Ascend shirt, wants to show up for his home gym and then make the trip back to really show who's boss.
Here he moves Evan Richardson. Popping along through here, trying to go as fast as he can. This is a weird one here out here. Not really weird, but perplexing. Height of 5'3", wingspan of 4'6", so a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to his wingspan here. But Evan Richardson making things work at the moment, but he pushes through. One bound after another, taking a bit of a rest to set himself back. One more backswing to go as he makes his way onto the steps. Got to be careful here with Evan.
Yeah, just really making sure he stays conservative, doesn't make a silly mistake. From here, Evan, yep. Oh, he set himself like he was going to link. I wonder what that was about. But at the end of the day, he does get to the wobbly booster block, remarkably so.
Here he moves, 20 seconds left to go. Off onto that TikTok and immediately reaches out. He's a bit stuck here on the basket, though. Might want to just reach out. Nice use of that wingspan. 10 seconds left, though. Going to be quite close to a buzzer. Probably one more backswing, and then he needs to move. Here goes Evan Richardson reaching out and linking back straight to the buzzer with 2 seconds left. 1 minute 12.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, he kind of took a more conservative approach through these obstacles. One of the few to actually use his hands on the steps, which is in fact allowed. But Up next is Joshua Saraceno. We saw his brother Derek not too long ago in the mature kids division. Let's see if he can show up for the Saracenos on the floor with him.
Representing Ninja Mania out here. They do a lot of speed over there, so hopefully Joshua is able to translate that fact into good motion right here. Seems like we've had a clear for every runner so far in the preteen male division. Let's see how Joshua Saraceno is able to fare, bounding across straight onto that shelf.
Yes, steps and bounds across the Sonic curve. And now, yep, some good old-fashioned links. That's how you do it. A second ahead of the curve. If he can be super efficient through. Oh, hold on.
I'm liking this right now. Joshua coming in with a very solid amount of tech and links straight out. And that's going to propel him right into first place. 42 seconds and he's dead on the floor. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's what happens when you churn out a time of that caliber. You leave it all on the table for everyone to see, and you have nothing left in the tank. He's going to be a name to look out for come the challenge course.
Indeed, he is. We have a lot more still to come, though. 5 more athletes left to go for this placement course. Jack Mulroy, coming out of Walpole, Massachusetts. He's competed 30 times in the regular season, so that's a lot of experience to only have in a year. But he's pushing along through extremely well at the moment. Let's see if that strength can continue to be prowess around the truss. Pushing along through, under and over. Love it. Onto this crooked wall-esque technique, as you say, Kane. And he's doing very, very solid so far.
Yeah, but he's got to carry it through. There's still a whole lot of crazy moves where that came from. The trampolines, though, proved to be no hassle for this preteen athlete. 45 seconds to go. Would like to see him go a little bit faster to give himself a bit of leeway on the leaderboard. It's not going to be about progress. It's going to be about how fast you do it.
Seemingly, yeah, every single person is cleared so far, and it seems like the run order is going to be decided by time to the buzzer if this trend continues. But 28...
No!
Oh, brother!
Jack!
I need to have a look at that again. Did he just force himself off?
He got twisted up on himself, trying to link to the throwback, which linking is definitely the play there. But you see, look at that. His lower body was like a foot to the left compared to his upper body, and that just ripped him off.
That was harsh right there. We were so close to having a 100% clear rate on the placement course, but now Joseph St. Pierre is going to be coming along through, coming out of Branford, Connecticut. Nice pop-alongs right there. Liking this so far. He was the 2026 New England All-Star champion, tied for first in regular season points as well. So Joseph, definitely not one to be messing around with out here. He's got the fastest time to this point so far, underbarring the shells.
Oh, yes, that tricky transition, and Joseph handles it with reckless abandon. Nice little underbar.
Ah!
No way! Oh, Joseph, I appreciate that he went for broke, but sometimes mistakes like that can happen. Speed kills, Billy.
Need to see that again. He had one jump over, and it seemed like he wanted to desperately go to that Dragon Fang with one hand, but it was just too much of an ask for him. Moving along into our top 3 now, coming out of Strive Ninja Fitness, is going to be Jackson Giulianello.
Yeah, this kid represents Strive, can tell from the blue and orange. We've seen that shirt time and time again, and plenty of athletes who've qualified where that came from. But Jackson wants to join his fellow gym goers at Ascend. He's got a long way to go. Ooh, nice. Barely makes it onto the platform, but gets the touch point nonetheless. Nice little pop on the shelfies. And, ooh, nice.
Okay, interesting stuff there. Liking the bounds between all of those trampolines. Jackson wanting to get another one of them clears. We haven't had one in 2 runs, would you believe it? But here goes Jackson getting along onto that box. Probably one backswing here. Interesting play, not going for that other side of the TikTok, but he's able to salvage himself. Kicked the base. That might have screwed up a bit of his backswing, but he's still pushing along forward. Gets both hands onto the left side of that throwback. Just under 20 seconds. Is he going to dive forward? Trapeze, and it was just set too far back.
Yeah, it seems like his technique was there, but it was the actual distance that was his undoing. Yeah, it was like he was trying to go for a link to hopefully shave off some time with that dismount, but instead he missed the bar altogether. Now 2 competitors left. This is Austin. Oh wait, are we swapping?
Yeah, it looks like this is Ethan.
Yeah, this is Ethan because of the jersey, I can tell.
Ethan Williamson. Gonna restart the time real quick. Ethan out here, getting ready to go. He's competed at Worlds twice. He was inspired to level up his training in order to qualify for stage 3 in the World Championships. Loves competing and is a hard worker in the gym and in the classroom outside of Ninja. He plays football, likes basketball, and is looking forward to Madden 26. That's out yet, isn't it? It's Madden 26. Right, here we go. Ethan pushing along through. Nice, solid stuff right now. Jumping along up, coming out of Spencerport, New York. Very solid at the moment, trying to keep up a solid pace.
Yeah, looks to be repping the Rock City Ninja jersey. A gym that had a qualifier last year, actually. Ethan, setting himself perfectly to ascend to the Sonic Curve. But from here, he's got to keep moving, and I would like to see him go a little faster, obviously. But, I mean, if you get a buzzer, that will put you ahead of... I didn't jinx him there.
No, just couldn't get too much of a big jump off of that TikTok in order to get his fingers into that special delivery slot right there. Seemed like he had it from the angle that we're looking at, but it just seemed like he was a bit too short and wasn't able to fully dig his fingers into that hole. But now, moving on to our final competitor of our placement course on this first day of amazing vitality competition, will be Austin Morin.
Yeah, okay, another competitor, part of Team Ascend, has been enjoying the summer, hanging out with his friends, swimming in his pool, but you don't want to get wet here on the Ninja floor. Well, I guess you can't get wet, but you know.
Here he goes, just under a minute, Austin, coming out of West Barnstable in Massachusetts, 12 years old. He is coming along through here. He's doing a lot of good here, coming out of Team Ascend in Kingston right now. Trying to push the pace a little bit here. I think if he wants to get that buzzer at one of the better times, he's got to get a move on.
Yeah, his swing wasn't quite set. He had to get a good pullback, and that's also going to bite into his time a little bit. But Austin, quite a few of our recent competitors have had their varying struggles with this placement course, and that includes Austin.
Oh, it just looked like the spin on his wrist there is what caused him to lose his grip a little bit. Look at his left hand, or the right hand even. Yeah, he went with the opposite hand than what he probably should have there, and that probably is what bucketed him off.
Wow.
That's going to be the placement course then. We got 5 clears overall with Joshua Saraceno getting the top time with 42.36 seconds. Ethan Williamson, however, going to be the first runner once it gets over to our preteen male side of things on the challenge course. Well done to our females as well that ran. We had 2 clears, those being Grace Murphy and Madison Curris, but Layla Rebello going to be first up on our challenge course once we get there after the break. Kane, that was a great way to end out our first day of competition for the placement course side of things. What are we expecting going into some challenge course runs?
Well, the challenge course obviously is going to be bumped up in difficulty quite a bit. I know we've seen that where it kind of scales up in a way that we're not expecting, and we're kind of left in the dark as if to being conquered, so to speak. But I think our preteens are up for it. Hopefully those that fell in the preteen male division especially, we had that round of falls 5 in a row after 5 clears in a row, had a bit of placement panic.
Indeed, so might have been the case, but when we get over to our challenge course, we've got the retries all available, ready to be used. I'm going to be excited to see how they can be utilized out here for our preteen athletes. We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes, ready for some challenge runs.
Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, CO and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
Want to train like a pro? DGS Ninja has you covered with obstacles designed by top athletes. Kevin Carbone, Matt Bradley, Tom Alberti, and Brett Sims. Whether you're dialing in your technique at the gym or training at home, DGS Ninja equipment is built for performance, durability, and safety. Train with confidence. Train with DGS Ninja. Find obstacles, rigs, mats, and more on dgsninja.com.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my chalk bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slab chalks! You take the chalk ball, put it in a mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slab chalks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, rock climber, and the CEO of Slap Chalks.
Here at Stage 4 Designs, we are all about innovation and athlete safety. We've been doing this since 2015, designing the most innovative obstacles in the sport, and now with our partnership with the World Ninja League, we are very excited to bring some of our best designs to the highest level athletes in the world. For our process, it all kind of starts right here in our digital design. There's a much more deliberate process now in what we do, with our goal being the utmost in athlete safety. So we put everything into our digital design first, make sure it's all going to work, then we procure the parts. We learned the process and refined it to what we feel are some of the highest quality urethane products you're going to find in the Ninja space, and that all happens here at our custom-built workbench. A lot goes into our urethane, and we are very proud of the work that we do there. Everything that we build here at Stage 4 is all custom made in-house. It's not like we have a stock of a bunch of stuff. So when you do place an order with us, that order comes through and we basically build everything from scratch. Paint department is scalable. We basically hand paint most things, but some things that require a little bit more spray or bigger, we're capable of that as well. These athletes put these obstacles through some of the most rigorous circumstances that you can think of, and we want to try to plan for every contingency. We never want an obstacle to break on anybody. We always want our stuff to feel solid and not move around a whole lot, so that the athletes can trust their skills to throw the biggest moves that they possibly can on anything that we put out there. Our CNC machine handles all of most of our flat goods. It's the workhorse around here. It actually does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of cutting things out. We don't do any of our flat goods by hand. We make sure that everything is exactly the same and replicable, so that, you know, if you're doing courses or you have athletes that are going either head to head or the same obstacle that you're going to find at one Ninja gym is going to feel exactly the same if you go to another Ninja gym or your home for that matter, so that there's consistency with all of our product. Over the years, as we've added to our suite of products that we offer, we realized that pipe and metalworking is becoming more and more commonplace in Ninja obstacles, and to meet that demand, we've added the ability to do that here as well. So a lot of the obstacles that you'll see that we design and develop are meant to go on truss, and pipes are a big part of that. So we've added a pipe bending station here, and look for, in the future, us to offer a lot more innovative obstacles that kind of exist in that space where pipes are a big part of it. So here, everything that we put out is tested by real ninjas before it goes out. We want to make sure that our obstacles can stand all sorts of unforeseen circumstances. We know that Ninja athletes move in ways that are innovative and new, and we want to try to account for as many of those as we can and make sure that those obstacles hold up. So we test everything. Over the last 10 years, Stage 4 Designs has been committed to developing the most innovative obstacles that you're going to find, but also the safest and most reliable obstacles. Our motto here is elevating obstacles. We do feel that on this platform, we can take something that's both fun and creative, but also elevate it to an industry that deserves to stand on its own.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the WNL Premier Series Season 4 qualifier out here at Vitality Obstacle Fitness in Massachusetts. Myself, Billy Dixon, along with Kane Malden, just wrapped up the placement course that just went on for the preteen division. We're about to step into the challenge course for the final time today.
Yeah, the preteen placement course was certainly one of the placement courses of all time. We started, at least on the male side, that one was one to remember. We started with 5 finishers back to back to back to back to back, and then we had the remainder of our athletes fall, which was certainly a rude awakening. We also have a couple of preteen female competitors here, and for them, the course went 2 of 6, so decent odds. Let's see if they can better their performances along with the males in the challenge course.
This is going to be a big one out here. Only 4 from each gender are going to be able to qualify for the Premier Series finals that are happening at Ascend Obstacle Training in Marlborough, Massachusetts on November 20th through to the 22nd. It's worth noting as well that all of these guys who are competing out here are from Massachusetts or close, so it's probable that all of the people that qualify will be going to finals. So we're getting at least, hang on, I want to do the maths here. If there's 8 competitors going through at least for each division, and there's 3 divisions, and that's 24. There'll be 48 competitors at least moving on through to the Ascend Obstacle Training Finals. We're going to be having a look at the demo run right now for our preteen challenge course, though. Starting out with this nice obstacle right here, starting things out. And then we have Giddy Up. This one has been a torturous one for most of the day out here for some competitors, a retry killer. Kind of need to do it all in one. We then head over to Twist and Shout, where we have got some diagonal trapeze bars that we're going to have to traverse over. And then we move on to Venom, which is a boot scoot obstacle going across a long... Okay, there's another one. Okay, careful there. Looks like you're going to have to be really careful if you're a taller athlete. Moving along through there. And then we have Chicken Little, which is a skateboarding obstacle where you grab a board, where you go on a board, go onto that little hook there. And then we move along onto Rodeo Whip. We have a rodeo rope in play here. Some people have been skipping it.
Oh, no kidding. There's more to this story here, Billy.
I don't know if I like... What?
That is disgusting.
I don't know if I like this obstacle anymore. But now we're moving along through onto Wham! With an exclamation mark, like the duo from England.
Oh, and there's a nunchuck now. Just ignore that.
Oh, bro. Are you kidding me? Okay. These preteens are really going to have to deliver if they want to get some top times and possibly a clear under their belts to qualify for the Premier Series finals. We then have Heath Ledger with Cliffhanger Ledges moving along through on that obstacle. But then we have Christian Don't Bail, which consists of some talons. Shout out Noah Munier. We've got a single cane, maybe? Or is it 2?
Oh, no. Wait a minute. There's some cane tech in this one.
There is some cane tech in this one. And Noah Munier gladly showcasing things out there. Then we move on to our next obstacle, which is Ice Hopper, consisting of a pipe slider move and then like a little flying bar cradle. Kind of like Premier Series finals last year in a way at Motors, where we had the Black Diamond obstacle. And that consisted of some unique bar tech involving some pipe slider type moves. Moving along here, a lot of linking opportunities down to that dismount. And then we have the Kaleidoscope of Doom, as they say. Pushing along through here, we're going to be very pumped by the end of things. We have 4 minutes for the time limit today, I believe it is. But regardless, coming along through onto the Kaleidoscope of Doom, we have a little bit of 180 action. Pushing along through onto the Kaleidoscope here. Need to get some solid movements here. There's a VL option.
Wait a minute. The VL?
Okay, I don't know if that's required, but it would be insane if it is. I think in the past divisions, they've had people go up to the cliffhanger ledge that's right above the vertical limit ledge. But regardless, if that's the case, then they're going to have to use the VL, then that is very, very scary. And we just got word that there's been a 15-second time cut from the previous divisions, making this course 3 minutes and 45 seconds long.
Hopefully we can get word on if the VL is a forced move for the Kaleidoscope of Doom or if the cliff is still in play. It kind of reminds me of, remember that one obstacle from the Premier Series 1 finals?
Yes, the one that Schneo Samayak fell on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. The little, it was basically a kaleidoscope with VLs. The little ledges, I think it was called. I remember that. Yeah, it's kind of like that in a sense, I suppose, yeah. I wonder if that's the inspiration for this one, particularly that build.
Yeah, but we will see. This is a very daunting course, though. That's what I was talking about earlier with the preteen division often having a lot of crazy buffs that we don't see coming. It's kind of out of left field, if I do say so myself.
It is a very left field type course. I mean, it's got a lot of different pieces of tech that our athletes are going to be using. The 17 athletes really wanting to prepare well for this challenge course are really going to have to deliver well once it comes over to this incredible course that we've got going on right here. In terms of the obstacles, we've seen all 11 of them. 16 athletes getting ready to go for our challenge course out here. We're starting out with the slowest competitor from the challenge course run that we had earlier. It's going to be Layla Rebello coming out here. She is 5 foot tall, wingspan of 4'10", 90 pounds, starting Ninja in 2023. 12 competitions of experience that she's had under her belt this season alone. Coming out of Somerset, Massachusetts, age 12, going to be setting out the precedent. Oh my goodness, we just got word that there is no cliff ledge allowed on the kaleidoscope and it's a forced VL.
Yep, that's just as I suspected.
Well,
good luck to everyone involved. I can just feel the finger pain watching.
I agree. I think overall, it's going to be a very, very tough one to see what the overall outcome's going to be. But once we get over to when our competitors get to the obstacle, we can gauge how strong they can really be once they have completed 10 obstacles before it. That's the ultimate decider, I believe. But Layla Rebello, followed by CC Angle, Mila, Kaylee, Madison, and Grace, are going to be setting out things for our preteen female division soon enough.
Yeah, tall order set for those to come. But I think Layla can set a high bar. However, that does remind me, we have 6 competitors here in the preteen female division. So it's going to be very important for the 2 stepping up here to really be on their P's and Q's and perform at their highest, which I'm sure they will anyway. But it cannot be stressed enough, honestly, because when you are the first 2 in a 6 competitor field, you have no idea what mark you need to perform to qualify. So that is a very big difference.
I think overall, just comes down to how far you can get and how fast you can get. It's just one of them things where you're just going to have to push through no matter what, and just perform to the best of your ability. Pretend that the rest of the competitors have already ran and cleared with fast times. That might be one of the mentalities you want to roll with. Also, when you come on this challenge course, you've got the retries available. And even though that is obviously great, when I'm running a challenge course, personally, I run it as if I have no retries available at all. Until maybe it's like the very end or something, and I need to use my retries for a hard obstacle. But regardless, we're going to be having our preteens start things out with our final commencing run of the day here for the Saturday at Vitality, beginning with Layla Rebello, representing Somerset, Massachusetts, out of Team Vitality. 3 minutes 45 on the clock, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, Layla getting the ball rolling. First things first, these horseshoes, very interesting. Got to get an enormous pullback. Luckily, Layla, being as tall as she is, the dismount isn't as formidable as it has been for our other youth divisions. But Layla, furthermore, the third obstacle, easy going.
3 minutes and 15 seconds to push along through this boot. Scoot has 2 in play now. Very difficult here. Needs to not scrape the bottom, and because then you'll be out. But regardless, she's made it through. Just over 3 minutes left to go as she pulls along through, getting ready to move along onto this next few obstacles here. Gets past the Chicken Little and is now onto the rodeo rope. It's very much been changed from the last division. It was originally just a jump onto that little skyhook peg right there. But now it's time for the rodeo whip to consist of many different obstacles pushing along through here onto that little vertical board. And now we're moving straight along onto Wham.
Yeah, talk about a double whammy here. So you have to contend with a nunchuck now, which is easier said than done. It's kind of a black and white thing. You either have the vertical one-handed grip or you don't.
Here she goes. It's a difficult one, especially with that nunchuck in play too.
Ooh, nice lock off there out of Layla. That helps her maintain purchase on the nunchuck, and she stays alive just under half time. She's doing pretty well, Billy.
Yeah, this is a very, very strong start from Layla here in the preteen division. No retries used as of yet. Getting onto that cliff first time around. I like to see it. 1 minute 45. Grabs onto the second cliff now. Just needs to get that dismount, grabbing on the back half of the board, it looks like, and dismounts accordingly, and she's okay.
Layla now down to 90 seconds, stringing together a pretty quick run, but we haven't seen her cane tech abilities. This is the first such maneuvers we're seeing from here. Oh boy.
This is going to be a big one. 1 minute and 12 seconds. Cane tech is very much different from ring tech here. You need to be a lot more delicate with how your moves are calculated, but Layla comes in with a large grab and nice! Hooks it in.
Okay, now gotta find that ring, Layla. The most taxing scavenger hunt there is. Okay.
There it goes. Still got time on the clock. No retries used, but time is still ticking. As she puts along through, gets onto that grab, but it looks like she moves along through, gets onto that peg, and is now onto the penultimate obstacle, the pipe slider. But now this is where it starts to get intense. 30 seconds left for 2 obstacles.
Yeah, feel the burn, really. Because this is where the consequences of doing 9 obstacles beforehand really starts to set in. First things first, climb up this rope, and preferably lock in the feet, Layla. Come on, time's ticking.
She's trying her best. She's got her hands on tape. But it seems like even though she's had a perfect run so far with no retries used, the time is going to expire right in the middle of the obstacle, and she dismounts down and is out.
Ah, man, Layla couldn't complete the challenge course, but it wasn't from a lack of effort. Just an insane run, especially as the first one up, proving that if you fall early on a placement course, your day is not over. You just have to try, you have to show up on the challenge course to earn your place in the Premier Series finals.
And honestly, that is quite a big ask to follow that result that we've just seen. But if there's going to be any person to pull on through and beat that result, it's going to be CC Angle out here. She's got a lot of titles, competed in many competitions across her time as a ninja athlete. She was the first winner of the Women's Ninja Association Championship at Motus Ninjas this year for the preteen female division. And CC is already 7.5 seconds ahead of Layla to this point, trying to get one of those top spots, immediately pushing through, trying to calculate herself on that boot scoot, which she does expertly.
Yeah, very, very solid core to be able to put your legs up so high off the floor to really secure yourself. CC catches hold of that rope. Oh, wow. Well done there out of CC. And just a paltry 22 seconds ahead of Layla. Nothing too crazy.
This is absolutely insane right here. She misses that first slap to try and get the piston out. And again, it looks like she's hitting it with a bunch of upward force, but not sideways. Getting
That
it out
might
a
be
bit
enough.
more there. That should be... It's on the edge. It's worth a shot, though. Maybe the ring going into the hole that it's in might push it out a bit more. But still, 32 seconds ahead of Layla to this point. We could be on pace for a clear already from CC.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, even with Layla's pace, that even if you go supposedly smooth and fast through it, it might not be enough if you get hung up. So it's in CC's best interest. Whoa, a beta break!
What in
out to
the world was
merry-go-round.
that? Are you for real?
Wait
Okay.
a minute. She abandons the cane? What is that about? Okay, well, I think she was trying to do a crazy move that wouldn't have panned out, so she finds her way back to the cane and uses it as needed.
My jaw is still on the floor from what I just saw, mate. Are you for real? CC
Well,
Angle is now 1 minute and 16 seconds ahead of Layla to the pipe slider right now, and she's undeniably on pace for a clear if she can keep this pace up.
Yeah, it hasn't used a single retry, has room for error, and I like this, utilizing the rope to move the bar up so she doesn't have to do one of the hops. Oh, no!
Okay, needs to be careful on this one. She knows that it can come undone, and to fall at a pace like this would be heartbreaking. CC's definitely on point to get one of these top times right now for the entire day, not just for the female side of things, beating some of the fellas that were in the mature kids male division as well. But CC pops along through, needs to
look at this
set
dismount.
up that dismount.
Oh,
Careful.
steady, steady, steady. This is like a pipe slider dismount from Sasuke.
Yes! Okay, CC Angle pushing along through, now has 55 seconds left to go for the Kaleidoscope of Doom. As we now move in, 50 seconds left to go for it. We have that VL that's forced as well now, it looks like. So CC is going to have to put in all of the grip she has left for this obstacle right here. This is going to be taxing on the fingertips. Oh! Coming on, doesn't even need the VL. 30 seconds left. Comes along in. One of the best runs I have ever seen, ever, out of a Premier Series competition. Are you insane? That was incredible.
What a performance on the behalf of CC Angle. Like, look at this beta break on the cane merry-go-round, jumping out so she doesn't have to do the cane object maneuver. Then she tried to pull off another beta break, but no matter. And then way to go with the vertical limit. I'm sure that's a strategy that a lot of our upcoming athletes are going to be taking a glimpse at to hopefully do their homework and get to the end, as CC just did.
Mila Rukus now has a big responsibility. We have 4 more female athletes left, and if they all want to qualify, they have to beat CC's finishing time of 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So this is going to be a big task for the remaining female field. So let's see how Mila can contest to it.
Yeah, there you see we have Lucas Reali on the sidelines, one of the best adult male ninjas there is currently.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Lucas run tomorrow, but we see Mila coming along through at a very good pace at the moment. 3 minutes and 15 seconds as she jumps up to the first boot scoop, but just skims down and uses her first retry here early.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's the first time I've seen someone take a retry there on the boot scoot all weekend, but this has been modified drastically, so frankly, I don't blame Mila here.
Here she goes, second time around. Hopefully is able to redeem herself coming into this boot scoot. A lot of impact. She's got her legs up as she should to reduce the amount of time she's low to the ground, and she did that brilliantly. Now immediately comes along through onto this hook. Lovely stuff first time around, representing Ascend. She also plays soccer and loves to travel around to compete and meet new ninjas. So let's see if Mila is pushing through on this obstacle as she should. She's going to try and go for the far pole, which she does, and immediately goes on and just quad step motions over to the next platform.
Yeah, nice tack maneuver that will shave off a little bit of time, make up for the mishap that occurred earlier on. Mila. Now, ooh, yes, that was a good push. I like that, because when you are a little more gentle with it, obviously easier said than done because you're off a nunchuck, you know, it allows you to push against the grain a little more and have more contact, so the friction isn't really as much a thing. Mila, only 2 pushes to get through.
Just under 2 minutes now. She's still got a retry left to go as she now comes in to the next obstacle, which is named accordingly Heath Ledger. Comes along through, gets that grab onto the further cliff. 1 minute and 40 seconds as she pushes through. Okay, gets the clear. Looked like she was off of the map there, basically, but now she's got a minute and a half. She's seen the beta break on the cane be done. But is she going to be able to get it first time around here? In order to get that clear, she needs to keep the pace up, and she is just coming up short.
Yeah, we saw that move be successfully done by CC Angle. Mila wanted to try it out too, but maybe this close to a run, being notified of such a thing, may have thrown off her game plan. But now, no retries left. Has to remain perfect for the rest of her run.
Gets it in second time around, though. Just over a minute left. Needs to grab onto that ring, which she misses. A bit more of a lock-off will do the trick. She really needs to extend her elbows up the whole time, but even then, she's just coming up short. Maybe a higher grab on the cane, but it is risky. You can see it, the top of it is kind of teetering on the edge of the ring.
Oh, come on. Mila now stuck on this merry-go-round. The spin has kind of stagnated, so she's kind of out of options here. Just trying to find a point of purchase. But those arms, fatigue is setting in.
Here she goes. She's trying her best. 23 seconds now. She's looking at the ring, trying to figure out all of her options. She's shaking out at this point now. Trying to grab up high. This is such a difficult one as we're nearing the 10-second mark left on the course. She needs to go full send to try and force her way up to that ring. But it looks like even with the time left, she just snaps down.
Oh no, the ring just tantalizingly out of reach for Mila there. But it was a hard-fought battle to get there in the first place.
Oh, wow. Very, very difficult one, that one, especially if you're not the tallest competitor, which Kaylee looked like she was. Or was that Kaylee? No, that was Mila, sorry, just switched. Oh, but man, that was so, so close. You could see she was trying to pull up the whole time, but just couldn't get too much distance. Let's see if our third to last competitor on the female side of things, Kaylee Brown, is able to get another buzzer here.
Yeah, one of our furthest, fastest non-finishers. I do believe she made it near the end. Perhaps the final obstacle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think from this point onward, we're getting to the people who just got to the final obstacle, the placement course, but didn't clear. Kaylee being the fastest non-finisher, I think it was. So let's see if she can pull along through. Getting her grab onto that sideways and immediately popping through. I'm liking the speed on show.
Yeah, I mean, to secure your place is going to require a lot of urgency. Wow, she was basically upside down on that first boot scoot, a feat that she repeats on the second one to boot scoot. All right, from here, Kaylee, this is where the tech will, I don't know, it'll persist, definitely, because there's a lot of object tech in the remainder of this course for sure. But attack off the board, that'll do it.
2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go.
Okay, Kaylee. Oh, perfect push. Yeah, you see much more contact on the little peg there. Will do her wonders. Finds that Halloween bucket thing. But there are no treats on this challenge course, only tricks. Is it too early to say that? I guess it's almost September.
Yeah, but even then, it's still nearly the beginning of September, and October's the end of... Oh, no! Kaylee! You could see there the fingertips just slowly peeled down as she was able to get her fingers onto that board. So now, using her first retry, is going to have to really push on forward, which she does on that first jump, but can she get the second one this time around? Tries to push forward and matches it with both of her hands. I like the tech on show.
Oh, come on. Oh, no, the hands. She's swinging a lot. And when you backswing on a cliff of that size, it really digs into your fingers. Somehow able to withstand much longer. Kaylee Brown down and out.
Just the slip there is what sealed the deal for her. It's a really unfortunate way to go out in her right there. We could see she nearly had it completed the wham solidly, but it just seemed like on that front swing the fingers just bucketed her off. 2 more athletes left. Both of these were clears in the placement course, the first of which being Madison Curris, coming out of Milford, Massachusetts, age 11. She's competed 23 times throughout the season, knows what she has to do. Can she get one of those finalist slots?
Oh, what just happened there? She kicked the little PVC roller thing, but I guess no matter. Getting through it just the same. Madison, 2 obstacles down. A lot more to go, though, where that came from.
You can see these preteen females really popping along through that sideways board. I'm liking the consistency that we're seeing out of all of these girls here. But onto the boot scoot where she is unable to get the first reach out there. It looks like 3 minutes.
Oh,
She gets it.
no.
Oh, but now it's free flying. So she's going to be away from it. Probably best to drop down at this point unless she really wants to go for it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the play.
Second time around, she's going to have to do it again.
Yeah, tactical reset. Definitely in her best interest. Obviously, it's not ideal to use a retry, but in this case, when you have nowhere to go and your only path forward is gone, yeah, you should probably take a fall. Oh no,
dear,
but
not
a
again.
backswing again. This is dangerous because Madison doesn't have another retry to rely upon.
I was going to say she might want to go back to the start platform, but due to the momentum, it might be hard to try and do that here. So, she's a bit in no man's land. Go! Nice recovery, though. Was able to use every bit of momentum she had in that moment to grasp onto the second ring.
I think we all breathed a sigh of relief there from her finally finding that second ring. I didn't want her to get caught up there. But Madison, hopefully she can salvage the situation. She burned a lot of time on that obstacle. By this point, Kaylee was already on the cliffs. Okay, well,
over 2 minutes left to go as Madison makes her way over to the WAM now, representing Surge. Hopefully she's able to get through this one. It's a difficult one here. No one's failed it, though, today, I don't think, on the preteen side of things. So hopefully she's able to carry on that trend as she immediately pushes out that piston.
Given the circumstances, with only 1 competitor left, and what happened on the boot scoot, I think she can still qualify, but what that's going to mean is that she has to conquer the Heath Ledger here. Don't be like Jared Leto, the objectively the worst Joker.
Ken's opinions always find a way onto these streams. But here we go. 1 minute, 18 seconds. Gets the match onto that cliffhanger. 1 minute 15 now. Gets down onto that platform. And now Madison, currently in 4th, has a good opportunity to get over into the top 3 at least. So let's see how she can fare. The Kane Tech hasn't been kind to everyone. Let's see if she can avenge herself out here. She's got less than a minute left. Pushes along, gets to that ring. Now she's going to take the cane and travel it over to the fidget spinner. Keeping that momentum going. Probably 1 backswing is all she needs to reach out. And she's done exactly that.
Okay, and that's it. Madison is locked into the Premier Series finals just like that. But 35 seconds, can't afford any mistakes, if any, are, I don't know, if a buzzer is within reach, anyhow.
She's going to try her best to push along through, going forward as she can. 18 seconds as she forces it into that cradle and gets it back on the track. 13 seconds as she's going to try and make the dismount here. Be careful of that pipe to not let it go over the track. And she's fine. And
No, she's not. She missed the
she
dismount.
came up just short. Oh, mate, are you kidding me? Oh, she was really close there, but with 6.5 seconds, no point in trying it again, I think. Unless she's gonna... yeah, they're just going to let the clock run down, it looks like. Oh, unfortunate there for Madison. Almost had it going down, but she's our fastest non-finisher so far on this challenge course. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be too upset with that performance. If there's anything that I can really admire about this run, it's definitely what she did on the boot scoot. I was very, very worried that that was going to be the place where her run was going to conclude. But regardless, she was able to salvage the situation and is guaranteed a position on the podium.
Grace Murphy, though, final competitor we have left for the preteen female division. She's had a very successful career in the entirety of the WNL. In 2022, she finished second strongest ninja for the World Championships that we had out there. And in 2024, she was a Premier Series qualifier at Stanford Ninja Academy, getting second place, and was 6th overall in the Premier Series finals. That was when she was in the mature kids division, I believe. But now she's in preteen, hoping to make a comeback for the Premier Series finals. Was the fastest finisher on the placement course. Let's see how she can translate her skills into challenge, getting a good grab on that second boot scoot, and she's through it.
Yeah, I was wondering how her height would play to, benefits and detriments as well on the boot scoot. It's kind of a two-way street. But Grace, kind of a universal benefit there with the Chicken Little. Grace, regardless, gonna keep on, carry on here. And this should be easy going, especially if you can stretch out the way that Grace could. No kidding.
Liking the play at the moment from Grace right now. Trying to slam that
Wow.
that track.
It
That was
out.
immediate, essentially. Yeah, look at that. Wants to get a bit more of a higher grab on that nunchuck, though, as she is going to set herself up for a dismount here, pulling back on the chuck as she makes it all the way down. Grace Murphy wanting to get past these cliffs now.
I really like her technique so far. It kind of reminds me of, a Caden Lebsack out there, a Caleb Bergstrom, someone who's very strong, but looks so in their element through these obstacles.
Here goes Grace in 4th. So just like that, she is qualified for the Premier Series finals, for the 2026 finals. But she still wants more. Goes immediately into that spinner. Keeps hold of that cane as she graciously puts it through onto that fidget spinner. Pushes along down onto the mat, though. Second place, our fastest non-finisher, still 1 minute and 40. She could get a top time alongside CC Angle, who's currently in 1st with the only buzzer.
Definitely doable. 90 seconds, no retries used, has plenty of room for error should she need it, but I think Grace more than capable of getting a full clear here. I guess we'll find out, though. I'm not sure I like this. She's kind of going one side at a time. That could be risky business.
This is cool, though. She's getting closer and closer to the edge of the track. Here goes Grace getting the dismount, and she's currently 5 seconds ahead of CC. So with that in mind, she's going to chalk up, get ready to go. This is going to be a big one coming onto the kaleidoscope.
Yeah, I wonder, what's the game plan? Oh, wow, spinning it kind of. Wait
a
minute!
Wow!
Big
Hold
brain
up a second.
play.
This is the play! I don't know how she was able to stop that, honestly, on time without being lost by it. But Grace pushing along through.
And
Gets
she
the pop!
misses!
No! Okay, one more attempt. 37 seconds left. This is very doable still. But she just needs to get a more accurate pop. She had her hands on the ring, but it seemed like one hand went over the other, and she wasn't able to get through it. So now, 35 seconds. This is going to be big here, but it's also very taxing her. She's been very strong, but she has been hanging for a while. The VL is in line with everything. So if she's able to get this pop, though, with 20 seconds left, she should have it. Needs to lock it in. Can she get
Yes!
it?
There it is! Grace Murphy closes
With
the
the
book on the
buzzer!
preteen female division just like that.
That was impeccable. What a comeback on that final obstacle right there. Our fastest runner on the placement course definitely did not disappoint there at all. We could see her pushing along through on that kaleidoscope. Had a bit of a close call on that first attempt, but was able to salvage it with every bit of push strength she was able to get onto that second ring and had it in her grasp right to the very end.
Ooh, our final run, finishing the course in very nonchalant fashion at that. Hopefully this is something that our outgoing preteen male competitors can pick up upon. We have 10 in the running for a Premier Series final slot. Who's it gonna be?
It could be anyone at this point here, but it looks like our 10 male athletes going to be getting ready to go in just a moment here. Well done to CC Angle, Grace Murphy, Madison Curis, and Layla Rebello for all getting through to the Premier Series finals for the preteen female division. We still have a lot more to come for the entirety of this season. So let's have a look at what qualifiers we've got coming up. We're taking a week off next week just to make sure all of the kids... It's back to school season, essentially. At least it is for the UK. I don't know if it's the same for the US. But we're going to see True Function Ninja Training Round in 2 weeks at this time in the UK. That one's going to be absolutely insane. Then we go over to Life Force Ninja. Their course design is always one of the best out in the entire world for any competition that they do. Dexterity Depot is going to be next in Pennsylvania, home of Matt Bradley. District 44 is going to be our French qualifier. Albany Ninja Lab is going to be the other New York qualifier. Fitset Ninja is our Canadian qualifier. M Lab is the one for the Ohioans and the... Not the Midwest, is it? No. It's like the... Where is Ohio? Like, what's it labeled as? Is it Northeast still? Or is it like...
I want to say
like
Ohio's... Man, I should know this. I'm pretty sure it touches Michigan. It's right under Michigan, I think, to the right.
It's in the Midwest. Okay,
I think
so we
it's
have
Midwest.
a Midwestern qualifier for MLab Ohio. So we got a lot of communities going out to that one at the end of our season, and then it's time for the Ascend Obstacle Training Finals that are going to be in Massachusetts, the same state that our Vitality qualifier that we are currently going through is going to be held at. So it's going to be a very, very tough day of competition once we get over to that gym with so many of the world's best ninjas all coming together, ready to go. But our Vitality comp still lingers. 3 more competitions are after this one, though, for the Premier Series qualifier at Vitality. We've been holding the youth divisions here today, but we have got the older divisions tomorrow. We've got the amateur division that has 38 competitors, 17 females and 21 males. That is insane attendance. I'm loving it. The teens come along at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and then we have the elites at 5 p.m. So we've got still a lot more action ready to go for the rest of the weekend out here for all of the guys who are getting ready to go for the Vitality Obstacle Fitness Qualifier out here. So many of the world's best residing at this gym to train and compete, and 10 of them are going to be being represented out here on the Premier Series Challenge Course stage in the preteen male division. We're going to be starting out very soon with Ethan Williamson, who has competed at Worlds twice. After last year's experience, he was inspired to level up his training in order to qualify for Stage 3 this year. He's very, very skilled, but we saw him go out the earliest, though, on the placement course, which hopefully he's able to push along through this time around. Ethan Williamson coming out of Spencerport in New York. Going to be quite a difficult one to get one of the top placements here due to the fact that all 10 of these males have a lot of power. Ethan made it past the bump on the placement course. He failed the TikTok. There isn't a TikTok here, but there are some big moves that are kind of TikTok-esque, kind of like a boot scoot in a sense, so that might pose a bit of trouble, but we're going to have to see how he fares.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully with a second chance, as you often get in the Premier Series, if you have an early fall like that, you have the chance to salvage your situation, because ultimately the placement course has no direct bearing on if you qualify or not. So there's something to be said about, you know, a bit of redemption here.
Ethan Williamson starting out the final division for this Saturday competition out at Vitality. 3 minutes and 30 seconds as our 12-year-old from Spencerport, New York is making his way through the rest of these obstacles at a solid pace. Going to take a backswing, a couple of backswings actually, on this crooked sideways board and go straight towards that trapeze. It looks like one of the trapezes have been taken out, so they need a massive swing over to it. But now here we go, the 2 boot scoots. Look at the left of your screen. He's getting ready to take on the first one. This is going to be big.
Yeah, I gotta make like Spider-Man. Grabs it kind of underhand, the feet dangerously close to the floor. Hopefully he can bring his lower body up and off the ground. Ethan, okay. Now from here, he faces Chicken Little and that proves to just be a bump in the road.
Here he moves 2 minutes and 42 seconds. It's going to be the first time possibly that we're seeing the rope be used for these hooks here. He's looking out to the back. Looking out for it. He's got it. But now he's going to have to utilize the directional backswings in order to hook it into the next area, which he has got. One leg hanging off, but he's still doing very, very solid at the moment. He's going to jump off, take the rope with him, and go onto that hook. Yes, dude.
Oh, Ethan, the first guy up, and
Ah!
no, are you kidding me?
The
On
foot
last
tap.
possible jump.
That was harsh right there. Ethan going to have to take it on again. One of the most time-consuming obstacles, only halfway through the course. This is going to be a very, very difficult one to properly get through.
Oh my gosh, that is quite possibly one of the most costly places you can use a retry. But the retries do exist for a reason, so you can try the obstacle one more time. And Ethan, we've seen that he basically has what it takes to beat it the first time.
Okay, he's got it. Needs to be careful with the feet coming out of the rodeo ropes. Got to be careful not to slip on the wall.
No
He's done the same
way!
again, but he's fine. It was incidental, labeled as, but now he's through.
Oh my gosh, threw me for a loop, Ethan. Don't give me a scare like that again. But, all right, after that absolutely brutal series of lasso launch tech, Ethan faces, honestly, this feels like clockwork compared to what he just did. Basically twice.
Here he goes. Gets the dismount, not a problem, but he spent a lot of time on that rodeo obstacle. So now he's got a minute left coming into the cliffs now. It's going to be a different one here. Onto the Heath ledges. 50 seconds up to that first ledge. He's got it, but it looks like the grip is really starting to be tested now.
Yeah, his forearms must be on fire. Okay, building it up, but falls on the backswing. That's what I was talking about. When you backswing on a cliff, that is a lot of burden on those fingertips.
Here he goes. Oh, but it just looks like the finger strength runs out on Ethan Williamson, and that is going to be our first runner down and out. Such a difficult one to properly get a hold of there, but it is a very difficult course. So I commend him for it a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. For being the first guy to take on the rodeo ropes, I mean, he basically did it twice. Hopefully the rest of these guys are taking notes.
That was very, very tough to start things out, but it's now time for our next competitor for the preteen male division, starting out with Joseph St. Pierre coming out of Brantford in Connecticut. He was our 2026 New England All-Star champion. Let's see how he can fare. 5 foot in both height and wingspan. 3 seconds faster than Ethan to this point. Getting the dismount, but it's a big... Ooh, careful of that sideways board. You need to match it. Very difficult to kind of like crimp it over, and it's too much of a swing right now.
Yeah, Joseph, he was off to a blazing start, but I think he needs to cool it down just a little bit. Don't make a silly mistake like that again. Okay, catches it evenly on both sides so as to not make that mistake again.
There we go. Trying to get some redemption out here onto the boot scoot. He's got a hold of the second one. Traverses all the way through to that mat as he now comes along over to next obstacle out here. Gets the grab onto that hook without a problem. 15.5 seconds as it with 3 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Forgoes going into the other hook. Joseph hasn't missed a beat even with that retry and moves right along into wham.
Pushing through 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Pushes out that piston to try and get the pipe ready for the ring to be set onto, which he has done brilliantly, and linking that dismount there. 1 minute and 29 seconds ahead of Ethan to this point. Still has a lot of energy in the tank ready for these cliffs. Oh, but he just slips off.
Yeah, I saw him looking at his hand. I think he is taped up there. I wonder if that's affecting his grip here. All right, Takes a dab of chalk out of the Halloween chalk bucket. Let's go again.
Second time around,
Yes.
he's got it. Just needs this Lachey, which he absorbs the impact of greatly. And he's through, but he has no more retries left after this one. Joseph St. Pierre, hopefully redeeming himself, pulling along through this course, and he gets the cane tech straight away. He's keeping a nice flow throughout it, but he needs to be careful to set it up for that big jump over. No!
Ah, no, the simple cane move proves to be not so simple after all.
Yeah, so it looks like for our males, they're going to have to take it on with the cane going on to that last hook. That's going to be a very difficult one for them to properly get onto. But we could see there, it was very, very close for our boy Joseph to get onto, but he was so close to it. You could see it was just a tiny bit out of reach. As we now move on to Jackson Giulianello.
Yeah, Jackson, our third preteen male up, and yeah, we've seen some of the buffs that have been made to this diabolical challenge course. Just when we thought it was diabolical for our preteen female division, oh, how it's gotten so much harder.
Jackson Giulianello, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, moving along through here, getting along down. Trying to get some momentum here, going off of the trapeze as he's almost onto that sideways board, but he just loses the grip as soon as he puts the impact on it. So Jackson now representing Strive Ninja Fitness in Franklin, Massachusetts. He enjoys playing lacrosse and being with his friends when he's not at the Ninja Gym. Started Ninja in 2020, trying to use that experience to good use here, which he grabs the board, but now needs some massive sideways momentum to get onto the next one. Oh, no! You could see there! He was very, very close to it. He just misses his grip there on that trapeze. Let's have a look at that. He got his hands onto it, tried to duck under, but he just peeled out.
Out already? Yeah, I think the right hand, when he caught it with his left hand was able to catch the brunt of the impact, but his right hand, overbearing the load and being so stretched out, couldn't hold on any longer. Still though, Jackson, good effort. Hopefully we can see him string it together a good run next season or next
Austin
qualifier.
Morin now on the course, pushing through. He's gotten onto the box now. Austin Morin, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, height of 4'10", wingspan of 4'11". The extra inch advantage on the wingspan could help him out on a big reach obstacle like this, and he gets it. Nice.
Yeah, quite a tricky grab, honestly. I'm surprised we haven't seen more competitors struggle with that. But Austin, here we go. The boot scoot, his height is going to be put to the test, and how he can manage his size when he's swinging like Spider-Man. He touches down. He didn't bring up the legs high enough.
This is very solid at the minute, but he has to use his first retry on this boot scoot. He's going to give it as best a go as he can do. But he's got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Can he fare well on this transition? He just gets it there, forces it down. Needs a good enough swing to get onto the mat, which he has got.
Much better there for Austin. Second try is in fact the charm, but still a lot of obstacles stand between him and the buzzer. To close out this challenge course is going to be a monumental task. Oh, interesting. He bunches up the rope so he can hold on to it with one hand.
Pushing along through 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Running his way back through. Oh, but just isn't able to get the hook onto that rope there. So now this is a dire moment for Austin Morin. Needs to properly lock in on this one. Representing Ascend out of Kingston. He enjoys football and basketball when he's not being a ninja. In the summer, he loves to spend time on his papa's boat, swimming in his pool at home, as well as hanging out with his friends and occasionally playing the occasional game of Fort on a rainy day. But here he comes, gets the grab, but unfortunately just slips on down. Austin Morin down and out, sadly.
Yeah, I wonder if that grab and him peeling off was due to maybe body positioning, because yes, he was able to rehook onto the pole, but it doesn't matter if you don't have a good vantage point and your body can't stay on the wall. But still, regardless, we'll see if that holds up. Jack Mulroy up to
Jack
go.
was our fastest non-finisher from the placement course earlier, trying to get a bit more of a stable approach out of that first obstacle. Now coming into the next obstacle, giddy up, going across these horseshoes and dismounts accordingly in 4th place at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if we were gonna talk about experience, I mean, this kid has 30 competitions. If anyone knows how to ninja, surely it'd be this kid.
Jack Mulroy not having a problem with the early obstacles. This is the first one where a bit of trouble can arise. A couple people have used retries on this one. But he gets onto the boot scoot the second time around, putting his legs up and graciously gets onto the next mat.
Jack hasn't skipped a beat so far. And keeping the rhythm going just like that. We didn't think the Chicken Little would be a problem for Jack, though. This is where the going gets rough.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left. He's gearing himself up, ready to take on this absolute daunting rodeo whip obstacle. It's almost like rodeo whiplash in a sense, with how many different directions you're forced to go in. But with 2 minutes and a half, he pushes through and is hoping to get further along into the obstacle, trying to readjust his grip on the fly. It's a hard thing to do on a rodeo rope, but he's still getting it through and hooks it on. Yes, dude!
Yeah, it was a little shaky on the landing itself. Oh, that one was clean, though. He caught it perfectly like a cat. No!
No!
Oh,
Are you for real? Okay, Jack Mulroy having to use his first retry on one of the longer obstacles out here, which is unfortunate. The rodeo whip. Really not ideal to use it here, but Jack Mulroy is regardless gonna push on through. Relatively high grab, so hopefully he's able to get a bit more control.
Man, I hate how long that dismount is. You really have to throw yourself, and if you fall, you're going to be bleeding a lot of time. But Jack just has to use the cards that he's been dealt.
Gets onto that final hook, but this is where he fell off last time. He needs to gear up a lot of sideways momentum to push off of that wall in a good manner, which he's got, but time is ticking for Jack Mulroy as he comes into the wham with 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah, we've seen time and time again all day long that time is of the essence. If you let the clock get ahead of you, you might not stand a chance of getting that buzzer. So Jack, he just has to keep moving.
1 minute left and he gets on down, chalking up onto these cliffhangers. Even though he hasn't got a lot of time left, he's still moving very quickly, trying to get a couple more points to get higher up on the leaderboard. Oh, you could see the jolt on his shoulders right there. He was absorbing a lot of power, and he just isn't able to hold it through on that second jump.
That's it for his retries. Jack gotta go. 37 seconds to make a miracle happen. And
No!
arrive. Jack is out.
This challenge course really starting to show its teeth now with the preteen division. We saw so many clears in the mature kids male division earlier, but it looks like with these adjustments on the course, it's really not being nice to our athletes. Did a very good job of getting past the rodeo whip, but it just seemed like the cliffhangers after that was too much for Jack. But now we're moving into our final 5 competitors. All of these guys were able to get a buzzer on the placement course, starting out with Evan Richardson coming out of Ascend Obstacle Training. Let's see how he can fare. Coming out of Billerica, Massachusetts. Let's see how he can fare. Height of 5'3". Solid stuff at the moment. 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock as he pulls back on the second horseshoe. Trying to gear up a bunch of momentum, ready to go for the next dismount, which he's got.
Yeah, I was about to say, Evan, definitely one of our taller athletes we've seen to date in the preteen division. Huge dismount as well. a lot of power behind this 5'3" frame. Oh,
Here he
okay.
goes. Doesn't go for the boot scoot first time around, but still needs to keep his momentum to grab it, which he does. Currently on one of the faster paces of the day so far, but here he goes, just under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
He gears himself up for that skateboard. Jumps up onto that hook, and not a problem as Evan, currently in 4th, is coming along onto the rodeo whip.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say about this obstacle that we haven't said before? It's a time killer and a ninja killer in its own right. It can take your retries just as it can take your time.
2 minutes and a half as Evan graciously goes over to that next hold, but now he's eyeing up that tap, and he's got it. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. People have had trouble with this dismount. Hopefully Evan can get it through first time around to save himself a bit of time.
Really sizing up this
himself,
dismount.
and he goes up, and no, the
Another!
same thing happened again. Evan, man.
Are you serious? What is it with that dismount?
It's so hard because when you're going through onto the next obstacle, or onto that dismount even, you're moving sideways, and when you're pushing off of the wall, your instinct is to go to the side a little bit and not head on. And that's the really difficult part. Evan's down all of a sudden. I don't know how that happened. Oh, mate. Need to have a look at that again. You could see Evan pushing through at such a solid pace that the earlier parts of this course, the first half, wasn't a problem, but it just seemed like second time around the dismount just wasn't being nice to him.
He just misgauged his angle. His hands were twisted in one way when the hook was going the other way, and the hook gave him no favors there.
Logan Jensen is going to start out the final 4 here, meaning that from Logan's run onward, we'll be locking people in for the Premier Series finals. So at the end of this run, it's either going to be Logan or Joseph St. Pierre in first, who's going to have the first confirmed spot for the Preteen Premier Series final slot. So Logan right now coming along in 108, it seems like 187 pounds. That's a lot of muscle to be putting along through. It says so on his bio out here. 12 years old, Ninja is his favorite sport. Home gym is Strive. Also trains at Vitality and his home rig. Got a lot of experience. He was a 2025 Premier Series finalist. He took 5th place overall in the mature kids division, now up in Preteen, hoping to make it back there first time around here at Vitality. Logan not having a bit of trouble here. No problem so far. Onto that first hook, and he's got it.
Look at that, Billy. Already onto the scene of the crime, just about. He's about to be eyeing up that dismount, a move that has plagued so many of our athletes, giving them so much grief, and Logan first tries it like a boss.
That was very, very solid out there. One of the fastest attempts we've seen of the entire run on that obstacle, but he's having a bit of trouble trying to push it through on Wham here. Can he get it second time here?
Oh, no, he's just going to trust the process. Get the ring onto the peg. That'll do it. Logan, just like that, a resounding minute and 27 seconds to this point. Now, he overspilled the platform. So now he's got to one-shot these cliffs.
A very, very difficult prospect to have out here as Logan pushes through, and he's able to get that first grab onto the cliffhanger. Just under 2 minutes left as he makes the second lache. He's trying to eye up the dismount now to get off this one as soon as possible, which he has done. So Logan Jensen, a minute and 45 seconds as he chalks up, courtesy of Aaron Giacomo. And here he moves. This is going to be a big moment for Logan as he shakes out and is ready to move on. Some Kane Tech lingering now.
Yeah, I was about to say that he didn't get here fast enough to catch Joseph, so he's gonna have to beat this obstacle, which he may very well be about to do. No,
oh my goodness me!
Fails.
I was gonna say that was almost flawless. That Logan Jensen nearly had one of the breakthroughs of the century out here, but oh, man, he nearly had it. He had a very solid jump onto that first hold. But this is going to be huge here. He's got a minute and 15 seconds. No more retries left for Logan Jensen. Needs to just go full send throughout the rest of these obstacles that he has on the ground here. Pushes through, gets it again, reaches out.
Oh.
Can he get, is he either going to go for the skip or is he going to go for the intended hooking beta?
Oh, what is this? Okay, redirecting the swing. I think either way, it would be in his best interest to line it up. And he rams it just
Logan
like that.
Jensen is in the Premier Series finals courtesy of that jump. He's got 40 seconds left to push through onto the icebreaker. Here we move.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen Logan capable of breaking the mold, the first person through the cane tech, but can he materialize a miracle with no retries left? Can he be the first preteen male? Come on! Yes, okay!
Yes! Okay, he was able to get it, but with 15 seconds, it's going to be quite a tall order to clear in this amount of time on the Kaleidoscope of Doom. He's just going to give it a go here. Let's see how far he can get. With 8 seconds, he pushes through. Wants to get onto that VL next, but with time only at 3 more seconds, he's just going to give it a full send and a pop, and he's down. But with time running out, that was still an impeccable perseverance showcase run there.
Yeah, to make it to the final obstacle, I mean, he was already guaranteed once he stomped out the cane tech. But wow, an exciting run. He broke the mold in so many aspects to beat this obstacle. That skip, I wonder if anyone could pull that off. But ultimately,
I think it's possible.
It doesn't matter. He's done what he needed to do to secure himself at worst 4th place, which would be adequate enough to move on to Ascend, which I'm sure he'll be more than happy to make the trip out. Gavin Balzotti, speaking of people who are eager to make their way to Ascend, he placed 3rd on the placement course, was one of our fastest times. And if you remember, those times were pretty close together, especially in the top 3.
Grayson Balzotti, his brother out here, was able to get the 2nd fastest finishing time for the mature kid male division. So Gavin, who's currently running, would love to join his brother for the Premier Series finals in the older division to him. But here he goes, immediately goes to that ring, saving time. He knows people have been going straight at it. Currently ahead by a couple milliseconds. But let's see if Gavin can pull on through on this rope tech. It's going to be very delicate. You need to have a lot of control over the rope and your lower body. Straight into that skip there as he sets himself up for the tack as he goes along through 2 minutes 50. Got to be really careful. Going onto that platform. Nice stuff coming out of Team Vitality right here. Gavin not wasting any time.
Yeah, I was about to say, thank goodness we're starting to see more and more athletes trickle through that obstacle on their first efforts. Gavin, he's able to keep the ball rolling, gets it bottomed out on wham, bam, thank you, ma'am or sir.
2 minutes and 20 now, shaking out, trying to get his fingertips all ready to go for this very intensive cliffhanger jump, which he has got first time around. Making the Lachey over, matches there, and immediately links outward. 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. Gavin currently so close. If he carries on at this pace and gets a buzzer, he will be in the top spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's already locked in, but Gavin, I don't think he's going to settle for that. Making this on his first go would be enormous.
Oh!
And he does dive will into existence.
Absolutely brilliant right there. Gavin coming in with a very flawless cane tech display. But with 53 seconds ahead of Logan, if he gets past this pipe slider, he will be in the Premier Series finals by default, I think. But this is a big moment out here. I think he already is, to be fair, in second. But a clear will definitely not hurt to have. 1 minute and 20 as he inches the pipe down the track faster and faster. Setting himself out for a solid link down. And 55 seconds ahead of Logan. He's got time for a buzzer with a retry available if he were to use it.
Yeah, that's good to know. The time that he saved himself going to help him out, a lifeline in addition to the retry. But can Gavin, what just happened? The left hand rejects him off the cliff. Okay, the retry being used earlier than expected, but at the very least, if there's any silver lining, at least he didn't use that much time.
He's got that backward cliff here, trying to get forward. This kaleidoscope, a very, very difficult obstacle to do at the end of a course like this, where your arms have been screaming at you the whole time. Trying to get a solid grip onto that VL. It's going to be the popping technique that Gavin's going to not get!
Oh man, I thought he was the one!
That would have been it for a clear, but he is our fastest non-finisher and is currently at the top of the leaderboard and in the Premier Series finals to join his brother out in the Mature Kids Male Division, Grayson Balzotti, in the Premier Series finals.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it much better than what he just did. A clean run to the final obstacle. You can't knock yourself for failing that final obstacle, especially when the fatigue starts setting in, when your arms are screaming at you, and you have to do a vertical limit. Oh boy.
Now then, second to last, moving along out here is one of our fastest finishers on the placement course. It's going to be Lionel Casiello. 22 competitions he's competed in this year alone for the season, coming out of Lynn, Massachusetts. I believe he was our first runner on the placement course, but he's having a bit of trouble trying to get the sideways to work in his favor, but he catches it at the right time.
Yeah, able to tame the misbehaving sideways board and out of there. Doesn't have to worry about that anymore. The boot scoot, gonna be tough for him because he is taller. He actually utilizes the top of the ring to give himself a little bit more room to work with.
Lionel tries his best to push on through, and he's got the tech all sorted. But here he moves. He's got 2 minutes and 50 seconds to line himself up ready for the rope tech here. Goes along straight away onto that hook there. Not a problem. 2 minutes 40. Lionel Casiello, love it.
Oh, Lionel!
Oh, wow!
Good use of the
Did
legs.
you see that? Yeah,
He
that
almost
was
did
some
a
quick
spider
maneuvering with the
climb
lower
thing.
body. I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. Definitely on pace to try and get one of those faster times, hopefully to a buzzer.
Yeah, but while we're thinking about a buzzer here, Lionel in the clouds with the wham, and he's flailing all about, giving us a bit of a scare.
Here he goes. Trying his best to push along through.
Yeah, he was able to stifle the swing and gets to safety. Now, Lionel sitting on the bubble. If he gets through this, oh wait, no, I don't think he'll be able to catch Joseph's time to the cane. So at this rate, he's gonna have to conquer the cane tech, which I think he can do given his performance thus far. Interesting, he didn't even switch over. Kind of threw himself to the right and it just worked.
It looked like he still has a lot of energy still left to go, but the tech really has to be on top here. Let's see how Lionel is able to move through here. He's got the cane in hand. Needs a massive leap to get it into that spinning circle, which he has got straight away up onto the top of that ring now. 70 seconds left to move as he has the cane inserted into that fidget spinner. He's being insanely careful, pulling back onto that link. Oh, the one-handed save!
Whoa! What
That was
save!
insane.
Playing with house money after that.
50 seconds left to go. I'm sure that he's quite shocked about that one as well, but he's still pushing through. Just over 40 seconds as he's got the pipe in hand. Just needs to push it up a bit further and slide it along the track.
Okay, just kind of forcing the pipe down the track, whatever it takes. Lionel sizing up the dismount, and his feet land squarely in front of the blue pad. Oh, that's not a good place to take a retry. That's a lot of time that he could have used. Down the tubes.
Gonna be a big ask here. He can still do this, but his energy is really depleting now. He's got 20 seconds left to clear this massive bit of pipe slider tech right now. Still pushing it forward with all of his might. Linking those jumps. Just under 10 seconds left. Needs to be a bit more careful of that dismount this time. And he doesn't make it. Couldn't get far enough. In third place is Lionel.
Yeah, that dismount, any sort of momentum could easily carry you off the rails. Still, the bar was set high, and he knew what he had to do to secure himself into the Premier Series finals. With that one-handed grab, that was the decider on if he were to qualify or not.
That was tough out there. He is in the finals in third place, but one more person wanting to get through is our fastest finisher from the placement course from earlier, and our final runner of the Saturday out here at the Vitality Premier Series is going to be Joshua Saraceno. He's competed in the Premier Series 2 years in a row for 2024 and 2025. He got 5th at the championships this year for Worlds. Favorite obstacles, the sky hooks. We have a bit of ring tech coming along through here. He has trained at Ninja Mania for a long time, coached by Ryan Tanner and Quinn McLaughlin. Here he goes.
Oh, wow. Josh, what a flex to grab onto the other sideways board. Okay, whatever floats your boat, dude.
Gets along through. That was a very solid jump up there. He's only 1/10 of a second behind the fastest pace. Wants to try and stay within that proximity. Jumps up to that ring and immediately goes along to one of the crux points of the day, the rodeo whip.
Yeah, one of the many to bunch up the ropes to get onto it with one hand, and he's twisting all around. But the rope bends to Joshua Saraceno's will. Just a few more moves left to go, but none that can be overlooked.
Yes, dude. Okay, he's got a
Ooh.
lot of momentum. Just needs to make sure he steps off at the correct point. Resets his momentum to start from the beginning, though. Goes off, and he's fine. Okay, cool. Very solid save there. Using his knees to kind of pirouette on that platform. But now Joshua is coming along through to wham.
Josh wants to finish this out in style. The only one left who could. But this, it doesn't get any easier. Okay.
Here we go.
The ring where it needs to be. Josh is out of there. 4 obstacles left, if you could believe it. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that the difficulty is so concentrated.
It's very, very tight here. It's been that way for the entirety of today's competitions. But Joshua Saraceno is looking for one of those top times right here. He's got 1:40, no retries used as of yet. But he makes his way down to the platform. Gonna opt for some chalk to get ready for this cane move. This is gonna be a very, very tough move. A lot of people have gotten stuck at this point, but Joshua's currently in 5th, and if he gets past this obstacle, he's in the finals.
Yeah, so the stakes higher than ever. Josh, can he be the one to get the job done here? Yes!
Oh, okay there, buddy. Makes his way through immediately. Was very close to the edge of that cane going off on the jolt, but he's in 3rd place in the Premier Series finals. But can he be the first finisher of today's competition on the course?
Yeah, well, it's almost like another obstacle getting up to this obstacle. You have to climb up this rope, and it does come off the rails. However, I guess the rope really saved him there.
Doing solid at the moment. Immediately pushing through. Going to take one backswing on that cradle.
Careful.
Going, keeping it controlled. Nice and steady. Getting onto that dismount. And now he's in 2nd place. Has the opportunity to get into 1st, but it's going to be very, very close. He needs to go now.
Yeah, and I think that he cannot take a retry. It is imperative that he beats this on his first go. Easier said than done. Wait, no. What?
Stop it.
No!
Ah, okay.
What was that?
Joshua, that made me scream right there. That honestly scared me. I thought he was going to pop out of the screen. But here goes Joshua. He's got only 10 seconds left, but it's worth a shot to go for it again if he's able to just go full send for it. Here he goes.
No, Josh, what happened?
Looks like he just hit
nothing
something on the
left.
kaleidoscope. Possibly, or he just slipped off. That was such a tight one. I need to see that full send again. That was incredibly good. Was frantic all over the place, to be fair. He was moving through very quickly. Wanted to get to the final obstacle in a solid amount of time. I need to look at that here. Oh, but just slipped off. It looked like he was hitting the kaleidoscope there on his body. But still, in the Premier Series finals, we have got Gavin Balzotti. We have Joshua Saraceno, who just ran, Logan Jensen, and Lionel Casiello. Moving along through to the Premier Series finals. Love it. And then we have a look at our preteen female side of things out here that ran earlier. We have CC Angle, Grace Murphy, who both of them with finishes, the only two of the entire preteen division. Madison Curis and Layla Rebello also going through to the Premier Series finals. Kane, what a streak of runs that was.
Yeah, very admirable showing from our preteen competitors. You know, we knew that the preteen course was going to be scaled up quite a bit in its difficulty, and it was going to be up in the air on if we saw anyone conquer what had been set by these genius courses. I mean, bear in mind, they're set by elite ninjas that know how to make something difficult. They know how to really put the challenge in challenge course. But I mean, if there's anything to take away, it would be our two female finishers. Bit of girl power here, you know, being the only two finishers in the preteen division. That has to be commended.
That was incredible, to be fair. All of the clears that we saw from the two females that were able to do it. And then our first place finisher out here, who ended up ultimately being an incredible turnout from our 10 competitors. Our first place finisher for the male division started out to be Gavin Balzotti, getting to the final obstacle in the best amount of time. That's going to wrap it up for the first day of competition here at Vitality. Tomorrow, the action continues with our amateur division starting things out at 9 a.m. We have the teen division next after that at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and then the elites will start at 5 p.m. So we've got a really good showing tomorrow. You guys are definitely not going to want to miss it. We have a lot of big names showing up in each of the divisions. Kane, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always here for the youth division, so I get to witness the sort of sproutlings of where the course begins and where it kind of begins to grow and progress as the divisions carry on. But man, I'm just happy to be here and to witness this Premier Series action. Special thanks to all of our athletes who make competitions like this that are always exciting, where the stakes are high, possible, and everyone involved.
I agree. It's going to be great to see the future of the sport evolve, and the Premier Series is definitely a big part of that for these kids who are able to pull on through, and I cannot wait to see them go further. Guys, thank you so much for watching. From Kane Malden and Billy Dixon, we've been your commentators today, and we will see you tomorrow for some more Vitality competition.